Hello everyone, Lone Reader here, back with another series of What the Heck Am I Doing? This is in my FL videos. Um, so basically this is the first real one. This is what to do with the step sequencer, this small guy. Um, I already have some of my own custom stuff loaded in here, so bear in mind this isn't exactly what you'll get when you open it up for the first time, but it's close enough. It's the same interface. So, with that said, let's get started. Oh, yes. Also, a quick apology I forgot to do on my last video. I know my voice sounds kind of funky. With this mic, it's because my computer is nasty with some driver issues or something, and whenever I try to plug in an external mic, it doesn't recognize that as having its own separate driver. So long story short, I'm using the crappy in-computer mic, which is why you get some weird room presence. But that is done so that basically you can get the full sound quality from FL Studio without any noise interference. So just keep that in mind and don't be bothered too much by it. I hope you won't be. So yes, with that said, let's get started. So when you open FL Studio, you'll get, well, usually it loads a demo project for you. What you're going to do, you can listen to that if you want. What you want to do is just open new from template, and then you can, or just new even, and it'll open up a new empty one. So you click that, and with me it loads all this extra stuff that I put in, but you're going to get something like this, minus all this special stuff. Alright, so what to do with this guy? Well, I said in the first video that this was basically where you put all your sounds. These are all VSTIs, which is a fancy acronym that basically means a virtual synth. So these are the programs that actually act like a Virus TI or something like that, although not nearly that expensive and probably not nearly that fancy. Although some of them can get pretty involved, like Silence 1, that's one I use a lot. That has actually part A and part B. I won't get into that in this video just to keep it short, but basically how you add VSTIs to here is there'll already be some presets existing, like a drum and a snare and stuff like that. What you can do is right click on any of those, like that, and you get this drop down list. You can either insert, and you'll get a list of everything you can insert, or you can replace, which gives you the same list. The difference between insert and replace is insert will add a new entry in this list, and replace will obviously replace the one you right clicked on. So I'm going to do insert here. And so basically the basic synth that comes with FL Studio is 3x oscillator. It's this guy. It's pretty small. If you're brand new, it looks a little scary. I know it did for me my first few times. Don't worry, this is fairly simple. And by that I don't mean that this is a simple one and all the other ones are way harder. I mean that this is actually pretty simple and easy to use. I'll get into, tweaking oscillators and stuff in another video. Suffice it to say that you've loaded something and it makes a sound for you. Yay, that's such a good sound. Well, what you can do with that now is, in the step sequencer, you can basically do, this is mainly for drum loops, because you'll notice when you put a single note there, that's just clicking, and if you want to remove the note, you right click on it. It's very great. You can click and drag, right click and drag, and I believe if you right click, there's also, there's the fill, so you can fill each 4 steps if you want to, 4 on the floor, house beat. Obviously this is not a drum or snare sample, it's an actual synth, so it's not going to be very good playing it with just step sequencer because of this. The note stayed on, as anyone who is not deaf can tell. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have said that. But anyway, the note stays on, alright? So that's obviously bad. So mainly what you're going to use a step sequencer for is just loading these up to use in the piano roll, and also if you have drums in them. let me add some of my kicks that I've made. Alright, so this is the library, what I'm going through right now. This is basically a list of where everything is. This is all stuff I've made, so you're not going to get that. I highly suggest you look in channel presets right here at the top, and 3x oscillator, because it has some nice presets for you. What you can do is once you have your 3-os synthesizer in here, you can basically click and drag, and it will put that preset in 3-os synthesizer. It won't do that for any of the others because obviously they're not the same thing, except that guy down there, he's in 3-os as well. But now, look, it's changed the sound. Alright, so play around with these presets, get it to where you can, know what's what. That's what I did, sort of learning basically what waveforms had different sounds. Again, I'll get into that in a different video. You should look through that. There is also not miscellaneous packs, I believe it is, where you can have all these drum kits and such. Basically, the way you add these wave files, and these are just pretty state files that I've done. They're basically the same thing. The way you add these to here as well is you just click and drag. So let's say I want to put kick 4 in there. Alright, click and drag. And ta-da! Kick 4 is in here. And let's add another one. Why not? See what that does. Okay, so here we can have 4 on the floor beat, and you'll notice since these sounds turn off by themselves, and that they're just, a pulse, it works in the step sequencer. Alright, there you have a standard 4 on the floor house beat. Here we can have, I have no idea how good this is going to sound. It's probably going to sound really bad, but this is just for demo purposes. So you have claps every half beat. And you can mess around, do all that fancy stuff. So that's mainly what you use step sequencer for. I'll go through a little selecting stuff which will come in useful later. Oh wait, let's just have a couple things in here. Alright, these green dots on the left edge are important. It's lit means it's on, you click on it, and it turns off, that means this channel is muted. So right now I'm playing 4 channels right now, it'll sound horrible. Alright, so let's turn this one off and see how it sounds. Alright, I can turn multiple ones off just by clicking on them. And I can also solo one by control click. Again, you're pressing control, you're holding it down, and then clicking on whichever one you want to solo. That turns that one on solely and all the others off. That's great for if you have a whole bunch of sounds and you want to make sure one of them sounds perfect before mixing it in with the others. When you're tired of that, you don't have to go back clicking all these other green dots. You can see the only one that's on, the one you soloed, control click it again, and it turns all the others on again, which is a useful feature. Again, that's just for testing a single track in your VSTIs for errors or whatnot. Alright, so that's basically selecting, or rather turning on and off. You'll notice there's this other green guy right before you get to the actual steps. That is selection. So you click and it selects. If you double click, selects all. Well, I mean, if you click one that's lit, so this off one I'm double clicking, and this one that's already selected, if I could just click it again, it'll select everything. Click it again, and it deselects everything else, kind of like the solo, except you don't have to press control click. If you right click, you can select multiple. That comes in handy later. This is for mainly routing it to the mixer, so this will come in a later video. Just, keep that in mind. And if you right click these ones again, it'll turn them off separately. So you could have none selected if you wanted. Selection doesn't really matter right now. It will, again, when you're routing it to the mixer. So bear that in mind. You can also reorder these if you want. You just hover your mouse over the one you want to reorder. You press shift, and use scroll, and that will move it up or down the list. That's handy if you just want, all your kicks in one area, all your snares in another, and all your VSTIs in a different area. Okay, final few things. These knobs this is channel volume and this is panning. So this is left, right. Depends which speaker to come out. Middle means it's, equalized for both speakers. This is volume. You notice it's not all the way up on these guys. That's because FL Studio has, it's kind of nice because I think this is set to technically it's at 100 right now, and it goes past 100 in the volumes. Oh no, they're set to 80 right now. Okay. Where I'm looking to find this information is actually in this this top left bar right here. You'll notice as I hover over, keep looking, it says what it is, and then it also says, like, if I move something, it'll say the values for it. So I see that at 80. That's useful for telling what something is. Here it says again, look, mute solo. Oh look, ta-da! Oh, and you can right click and there's solo right there. Ta-da! So that's the basics of the step sequencer. It's by default a 4-beat measure. You can change that right here by clicking and dragging. So here, say you want 6 beats, or maybe you just want 1. Do that as well. I usually don't mess with that too much. Oh yeah, just drag it down until you get those double lines. That's default. That means it's 4. Alright, that's an easy way to just set it back to default. I usually don't change this that much unless for very specific reasons. And then also there are these guys, which actually it is useful to know the selection. So you select whatever one you want to alter. This is basically, I'm on velocity, that's volume right now. You can drag this slider, release, shift, I don't know what any of these are. No, velocity and release. And here's pan, so you can, change it. Oh, nope, hang on, let's solo that. There. That's basically what that does. If you want to get a little fancy, this is also what notes you have it on. I don't typically use this. Oh snap. You click on here to put on whatever note you want. Like that, or like that. I don't use this very much. The only time I see conceivably you using this is if you don't have the piano roll, but pretty much all FL Studio stuff has the piano roll, so you don't really need to use it. I think that's sort of a leftover from an earlier version. Okay, so that's the basics of this guy, the step sequencer. Thanks for watching so far, and I look forward to seeing you in another video. Alright, goodbye.